Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have made it. We have reached selection day for the college football playoff. And as you can see, to the surprise of, well, very little, maybe everyone except some Alabama fans, the playoff is, as you can see on screen, 1, 2, 3, and 4. The top four we all expected it to be. Now, if you look at it here, the argument comes up every year, and I think this is the main case for this year. In a year you don't have much drama, most of the situations sorting themselves out, Utah taking care of Southern Cal and Kansas State beating TCU, the situation became something a little different. The controversy, in quotes, because I don't think there was much of one this year, I think most people would agree no matter what TCU did, they would be in. The only question would be, would the committee maybe move TCU to 4 to set up that Michigan-Ohio State rematch? The committee has said several times they do not try to create rematches. If they happen, they would happen in the championship game. So we get what you see on screen. Georgia number 1, Michigan number 2, TCU number 3, Ohio State number 4, and Alabama and Tennessee just sitting out at 5 and 6. This is one of those that really doesn't make any sense to me. You saw the brigade, of course, of some people trying to argue that Alabama deserves to be in over TCU. I don't know where that argument came from. I don't know who started that idea, but that was a completely just nonsensical idea that Alabama deserved to get in the college football playoff. Because you look at what Alabama did. Yes, they lost 2 games, and TCU only lost 1. Ohio State only lost 1. To me, the argument was TCU's a conference runner-up. They're going to get in. They played in a conference championship game. You don't harm them for playing an extra game that Alabama didn't. Alabama lost 2 games. Simple as that. They lost to Tennessee. They lost to LSU. Yes, they were both on the final play. Yes, they were a combined 4 points. But when you look at it, TCU has the better quality win that Alabama does. TCU lost to K-State and beat K-State. So those kind of cancel out. We've seen that happen before, where if the committee sees a team lose to one, but then beats them later on in the season, or vice versa, they seemingly cancel out. The big one, though, that I think doesn't really make any sense to me, and not that it matters, keep in mind, had no ramifications on the playoffs. Why is Tennessee not 5th? They beat Alabama. The head-to-head does exist. We do have footage of these 2 teams playing each other this year. Tennessee did win that game 52-49. It should have been maybe Tennessee that was having this discussion, but at the same time, I guess it doesn't matter. But it'll be interesting to see as the rankings come out later today. Where does Clemson get put? Does anyone value the ACC? I don't think so. The 2-loss ACC champion that is 11-2, that you could maybe even make an argument for them there to be in the top 6. It appears that is not the case. USC, where do they officially fall? Do they fall to 7 or 8, or how far do they take a tumble for losing to Utah? And folks, we're going to get some great playoff games. Georgia-Ohio State is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be in the Peach Bowl, so Georgia with that, not neutral site, not a far drive from Athens to Atlanta, not by any means. Ohio State having to come all the way, but their fan base is used to making travels all around the nation, so that won't be a problem for them. And Michigan and TCU in the Fiesta Bowl. That game is intriguing to me, more so than Georgia-Ohio State. Georgia-Ohio State, we kind of know what to expect. Michigan and TCU is either going to be a blowout or it is going to be just insanely close. To me, there's no in-between on that game. We're either going to see our usual blowout that we get, where some team comes in and gets beat, 35-0, 42-7, something along those lines, a massive beatdown, so to speak. Or that game could be super close, because Max Duggan, you saw his heart against Kansas State. You saw his grit, his determination. He's out there playing with, zero gas in the tank, and still able to will TCU to overtime. And, if not for a controversial call, according to some, they might have won that game in overtime, or at least maybe gone to double overtime. But at the same time, Michigan, they have all the weapons. Besides Blake Corum, who, of course, is injured and will not play, it does not matter because Donovan Edwards has taken over right where he needs to be in place of Corum, and Michigan is still running the system like they're supposed to, playing great defense, able to run the ball down nearly anybody's throat. So that's going to be a battle when those two meet. Georgia, Ohio State, similar situation there in that you have an elite defense in Georgia and elite special teams too. If you watch that LSU game, the blocked field goal return for a touchdown, my goodness, how do you not know the rules there if you're LSU? Great play by Georgia, but Georgia's just a fun team to watch. Their offense coming together, I don't know how much of that is LSU's defense being bad or Georgia's offense being good. We know they have weapons. Brock Bowers does exist. He will destroy a lot of people. That's just what he does. He's done it to everybody this year. But Ohio State, I'm interested to see how the Buckeyes react to this game because, folks, we're dealing with the possibility, not saying that it will happen. We'll make our predictions later on in the month. But if Michigan and Ohio State meet in a national championship game, we might see the highest-rated college football game, at least in the playoff era, if those two meet. The first one of the game drew 17 million viewers. I would think it would almost be doubled or maybe even a little bit higher than that if those two meet. But looking at it, we're going to get some great New Year's Six matchups as well. Alabama going to take on Kansas State in the Sugar Bowl. That should be interesting. The projection I saw this morning was that Tennessee and Clemson playing in the Orange Bowl, the All-Orange Bowl, which if Cade Klubnik is the starter for that game for the Tigers, that could be a long day for the Vols defense. Klubnik looked great in the ACC title game. But we're going to have to see some of these other ones. I know Tulane will be in the Cotton Bowl. I saw a projection that they might take on USC. That is another matchup nightmare for the Trojans, similar to Utah. It'll be interesting to see how that game goes. And I'm trying to think, what else do we have? The Rose Bowl, of course. Utah will be playing Penn State. And that should be a fun one. Utah getting another shot to win a Rose Bowl. Big game for the Utes and the Nittany Lions there. But hey, if you've enjoyed this video, feel free to subscribe, like the video, leave a comment below. Do you agree with the playoff committee? Do you disagree? Do you think Alabama should have been in? Because I'm legitimately curious. I know some people have been going around saying that this is fraudulent. You know, you have people in the media, it felt like all last night, Nick Saban getting his entire interview in with Fox at halftime. I know some people were upset about that, but hey, that's how the media business goes. You've got to make a case for everybody. Even if you don't think they deserve to get in, you've still got to make a case for them. But, of course, Georgia 1, Michigan 2, TCU 3, Ohio State 4, and on New Year's Eve, this will all be settled out, and we'll have our final two. So, until next time, have a great day, everyone. Of course, if you want to follow us on Twitch as well, you can go to twitch.tv/NWTV7. Give us a follow there. If you want to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, go to NWTV7, and we'll be there. And, of course, once again, like and subscribe to the channel. Like the video. Leave a comment below. And until next time, have a great one, everybody.